Hey everybody, I am here and I am going to talk about culture. Culture was probably one of the hardest things I think to get used to when you move to a different country. Um, and you just, it takes time, it takes, um, it takes time to get used to. It's different when you go on vacation somewhere and you can kind of see the culture, maybe, absorb a little bit of it, but when you actually move to another place, to another country, or maybe even another state in the United States, you don't really absorb the culture until you live in the culture. So, coming to Sweden on vacation a couple of times, it was the difference is when I was on vacation, I really didn't see the cultural differences. It was when I moved here, that's when I started to see the big cultural differences, where you kind of keep to yourself. You don't really talk to your friends and neighbors, where in the United States you can do that. You can talk to random strangers and it's okay. It's not weird. Here, if you do that, you're kind of maybe considered fake or weird, or there's something strange about that person. Where in the United States, it's not like that. So that was kind of hard. I do have a closer connection, I feel, with immigrants than I do sometimes, like cultural wise, because some of the immigrants that come from, say, Eastern Europe or Middle East, they have the same cultural background in that sense that we do, where you talk to your friends and your neighbors and you get together and everything's cool and there's no strangeness. So that's when I tend to talk to some people, like I talk to my neighbors and stuff. It's generally the immigrants that are more like us, like me, like an American, and the Swedish people are more kind of like, hey, goodbye, and that's it. Where you can chat a little bit with the other people that aren't actually from Sweden. So that was tough at first. Now I'm used to it. At first, when I first came here, I wasn't used to being like left alone all the time and like not having any friends or family. I come from a pretty large family where there was always somebody coming or going, so I was always used to having somebody around me. And then when I came here, my husband would go to work and there would be nobody there, and that was hard at first. Like what do I do? I don't have any friends. Where do I go? I don't know anything. So it was tough, but I think that it's really weird. It took me about a year to actually feel the shock of moving to another country. The first year I was kind of like, on this high of excitement and possibilities and new adventures. And then after a year I was kind of like, freaking out. I don't know why it took me so long, but it did. And now I'm back where I feel used to it. I'm okay. And it's strange, like when I go back to it, being here in Sweden, there's not a lot of people. You don't really come in contact with a lot of people all the time. Where in America, there's always people around you. So when I go back to America, sometimes I feel overwhelmed, where there's like, oh my God, there's so many people around. You know what I mean? And I'm like nervous, and it's a strange feeling. But we can break it down a little bit. Food-wise, culturally, I'm okay. I eat everything. I try everything. So I wasn't like, it was one thing I can point out was kind of funny. When I came here on one of my first times on vacation, and I was eating all this new stuff, and it was like, I didn't really like it, and I was just like, I just was having, like, I was in Stockholm, and I was having a panic attack, and I was freaking out a little bit, because I just missed home, and this is the first time I had ever left the country, and it was just like, I didn't understand the language, I couldn't read anything, I couldn't understand anybody, nobody was speaking English, nobody was in English, and I was just like freaking out. I was like McDonald's. Take me to McDonald's, please. I need American. I need something from America, please. So I went to McDonald's and I got a Big Mac and I ate my Big Mac and then I started to like unpanic and start to relax a little bit. It was really funny, but I was just like, I can't. I just need something American, please. I need a hamburger. And I can't do this. I'm freaking out, man. I at least like I know what Big Mac is and I know what it tastes like, and I've had it before. So that kind of helped me a little bit. I know it's strange and it's goofy, but it was funny. And then, it's different like breakfast, lunch, dinner, fika, melon mall, whatever. It's different than the United States. The way we eat is kind of like on the go. We don't really take time. We don't relax. We kind of just like, we're on a schedule. Where here, they kind of take a little bit more time. They make breakfast. They make lunch. They don't go out and buy lunch very often. They more bring lunch. Where in America, you buy lunch more often than you bring lunch. We eat sandwiches for lunch. They don't eat sandwiches for lunch. They think it's strange. They eat like proper meals. A lot of the workplaces are equipped with like kitchens, so you can like cook a meal if you want to while you're at work. Or in America, it's pretty much just refrigerators and a sink, coffee pots, that's it. Microwaves, you don't see actually like stovetop and stuff like that where you do here. So that was different. I know I've like sent my husband to work a couple times with a sandwich and everybody was kind of like, that's weird, because they don't eat sandwiches for lunch like we do in America. They consider that melon mall or like a snack, to have a sandwich. And they don't call it sandwich, they call it smorgish. And they don't put the bread together, they have the bread separate. So it's like bread, cheese, butter, and then bread, cheese, butter. And they do not put them together, they eat them open-faced. Where we in America, we put everything together. So that was different. And the one thing I when I first came to Sweden too, I didn't think they were going to have peanut butter, and I live off of peanut butter because I'm American, and no, I have Crohn's disease and it's like my go-to food, but I didn't know that they were going to have it, so I brought a jar of peanut butter with me from America, but they do have peanut butter. I have 2 jars sitting over there because I buy it so much. So they do have peanut butter. But I didn't know they were going to have it. So I'm like, I better bring my own peanut butter just in case they don't have peanut butter. It was so funny. I'm such a dork. Because I was just like, I don't know what to expect going to another country. What if they don't have peanut butter? I'll die. It's so funny. And a lot of the things too, like that were the little things that people don't think about when they move to another country to get used to are like, for example, say you get a headache and you want to buy something to get your headache to go away from the pharmacy. In America, we always go and buy like Tylenol or ibuprofen, which are name brands. Like Tylenol is a name brand. I don't know what it is. It's acetaminophen. Okay, Tylenol. So you come to Sweden and they don't have Tylenol. So you're like, well, what do I buy? Oh my god. And it's not called acetaminophen here either. It's called paracetamol. So you kind of have to learn all these like little things. Another funny story is when I first got here, I was doing the grocery list where I think we were ordering it online from Willie's and we were going to pick it up. And I thought I was buying like face wipes, just like some face wipes to wipe my face. Vet servetter, What I actually bought was cleaning servetter. So, and that's to like clean your kitchen. It had cleaning stuff in it. It wasn't for your body. It was to clean like your kitchen and your toilet and shit like that. And I didn't know the difference because I didn't know the words. And I didn't think to ask anybody because I was just like trying to do everything myself, try to be a little bit independent. So I bought them, and I'm like wiping my face, and I'm like, oh my god, it freaking burns. Why does it burn so bad? And I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, just, maybe it's alcohol. And then I took another one another time, and I'm like, oh my God, it burns, and it really smells bad. And I started to read it, and then I'm like, let me Google what this is. And I Googled it. It was to clean your kitchen with. It was not for your freaking face. So I was just like, that kind of like, I almost broke down because I was like, oh my God, maybe I can't do this. I can't even buy face wipes, you know? I was like, oh my God. So there's not only with the language, there's a lot to learn to be able to conversate with somebody, but there's a lot of little things that maybe you don't think about that you have to learn. Go to the grocery store. When we go to the grocery store in the United States, they bag our groceries for us. Here, you have to bag them yourself. I wasn't prepared for that. And you gotta be quick too, because I mean, they're like moving that shit down the line, so you gotta be quick because the next guy's groceries are coming. So I was like, that was a new thing. They don't eat out as often as we do in the United States. In the United States, typically you could eat out 2 or 3 times a week, maybe more than that, maybe less, because, you know, you're busy, you're on the go, you don't have time to cook a proper meal. So you just go grab Chinese, or you go grab a burger, or you go grab a pre-made sandwich at the store or Subway or something like that. Where here they don't do that. It's kind of like, it's expensive for one, and it's more of like I don't even say like a luxury thing. They're more about home cooked meals than they are about going out and having dinner, going out and getting something. So that was something to get used to too, because when we lived in America, me and my husband, we would do it like every Friday night, for example. We'd get off work, we'd go to the grocery store, we'd get like a couple beers, we would get some candy, and we'd get like sushi or pre-made sandwiches or something like that. We'd just watch a movie, and that's what we did every Friday. And then we came here and we're like, you don't do that. So I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? You know, I know how to cook, so I was okay with that. And I actually, when I first moved here, I did a lot of cooking and baking because I had nothing else to do. So I just kind of like tried to consume my time with things rather than sit and be sad or depressed. I just tried to clean and cook and iron and do laundry, and I did that every single day so that I was consumed with something to do rather than just sitting there and waiting for my husband to come home, you know. So I just tried to stay busy. So I did that, and that worked out okay, because I don't mind doing those things. Yeah, there's so many little things to get used to. And when I told people, like when I was in SFI, which is Swedish for immigrants, where they teach you Swedish, what I told them, I'm like, if you're having a hard time or you're new here, go on to, for example, here in Sweden, go on H&M's website, go on Willys, which is a grocery store website, Ica Maxi. Start with at the top and just read everything. The food, tomato, potato, patatis. You know, some of the words are similar in English, which just helps. But some of them are not the same. For example, in America, we have the brand Kleenex, which is for tissues, you know. But here in Sweden, they don't have the brand Kleenex because it's an American brand. They have whatever, maybe a store brand or something like that. I don't have any other ones. But this is called tissue here in Swedish. So if you're looking for tissues, you're not going to find what you're looking for. It's not what this is. This is called näsduk. Duke is like something, like a big, duke can be anything, but I mean, like for example, nose. Duke is like something that you would lay over top of something. Could be like a tablecloth or something like that. I don't know why it's similar, but yeah. So tissue in English, näsduk in Swedish. So if you don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to be able to find what you need. So there's a lot of little things to learn as well as the language. Um, and I thought that when when you first get here, oh, I'll be able to get a job, everything will be okay. It doesn't always work out that way, because if you don't speak the language, and you don't know any of the little things, and how are you going to get by? You can't just speak English and assume everybody's going to be okay with that and assume everybody knows. So when I first started here, I started at SFI. Well, I came in 2018, started SFI in April, and then by May, I had found a job. But I had applied for so many jobs, and on some of them I didn't speak enough Swedish. I didn't really speak much Swedish then, I can barely speak any Swedish. But I ended up finding a job as a chef because I knew how to cook. It didn't require very much Swedish. I just had to learn how to read in Swedish, which was fine because it's food, and you can Google stuff, and it was easy. It was more a visual type of thing rather than it was more pratique than it was to have interaction with customers and whatever. So that was easy for me. So I worked there for a while, and then I was pregnant, so I had to quit. And then I worked for a law firm as a secretary for a little while, and I learned more there, Swedish there, and different words and things like that, and more of the work culture. And then now I'm in school for nursing, so I'm learning more and more and more. And I pretty much speak Swedish. Outside of this video, I pretty much speak it all day. I speak some English, of course, with my husband. He speaks more English with me than we speak Swedish. But I speak Swedish with my son. And with school, of course, online I speak Swedish. So outside of this video, I speak more Swedish than I do English, which helps me stay up to date and relevant, and it helps me stay with it, rather than if you just speak a language for a little while and then you stop, you kind of lose it. So this kind of helps me keep it, if that makes sense. So if you want to engulf yourself into the culture, or learn the language, learn the little things. I know there's people that don't really, like my neighbor. She speaks a little bit of Swedish. She's from Eastern Europe. No English. So that's hard too. It's like if you come across a person and say they speak Swedish, but they speak zero English, you're first forced to speak Swedish with them. Some people, they speak Swedish and then they speak English too, where they'll switch back. They'll I want to train my English, so I'm going to speak English with you. And it's like, well, shit, I want to train my Swedish, I want to speak Swedish with you. So when I come across a person like that, generally, it's funny, they'll speak English to me, and then I speak back to them in Swedish. So it's kind of funny. But that happened. That happened a lot in the beginning when I was trying to learn Swedish. Everybody wanted to speak English. And it's like, I'm never going to learn. This sucks, because I just want to speak Swedish, I want to learn, but everybody wants to freaking train English. What the hell am I going to do? So, you get past it, though. You just have to keep going and pushing and moving past it, and it'll be okay. And now, at first, I was really nervous to not be myself, cultural-wise, being American, I was like, I don't want to, I have to adapt, I have to unpass, I have to be more Swedish, I have to be less American and more Swedish, because that's what they told me in SFI too, be less American, be more Swedish. Now I'm not afraid. Now that I speak the language and I'm a lot better at it, I'm not afraid to be myself anymore. I'm not afraid to be an American. Sometimes I feel like when I worked at my other job and my kids' school and stuff, I felt like maybe I'm being too aggressive, because Americans are kind of like, we're go-getters. If we want it, we'll go get it. So, and we'll kind of ask the questions maybe Swedish people won't ask, or we'll answer things in a way that maybe Swedish people will kind of like avoid that topic or conversation. Or as an American, I and it might not be just because I'm American, it might just be who I am too. I'm straightforward and blunt, and sometimes I don't always think before I say something. I don't know if that's American or not. I don't know. Maybe Swedish people are like that too. I don't know. But I try not to be the not aggressive American, but like the over enthusiastic American. I try to tone it down a little bit, and I'm a very quiet person anyways, but I just try not to be as like if I go to the grocery store and I'm standing in line, it's my turn. In America, you know, hey, how you doing? You know, to the clerk. Here, I don't do that. I just, you know, thank you, taxavikia. I keep it really kind of short, but I smile. I still smile. I still make eye contact. Maybe not as many people do that here, but I'll smile, I'll make eye contact, and if they want to engage in conversation with me, I will engage in conversation with them. I'm not going to be like, oh no, I'm not supposed to do that. I will definitely do that. There's plenty of times where I've been in a grocery store or in the mall or something, and somebody will come up and ask me a question. They could be Swedish, they could be an immigrant, and I will help them. Sometimes we'll chit chat a little bit. I've been on the train and chit chatted with people on the train that were Swedish. They just wanted to chat, and it was cool. You know, when they find out you're an American, I think sometimes it makes them feel a little bit more comfortable because they feel like they can maybe come out of their shell a little bit and talk where they maybe wouldn't with another Swedish person. So that maybe it's fine for them. So that's cool. I don't mind it. So I will definitely engage in conversation with people if they want to, but I'm not going to push them. You know, I'm not going to usually make the first initial. Sometimes I will. If I see something really cool. Like there was this one chick at the train station, and she had like an electric scooter. And I was just, you know, not thinking. I was just like, oh, that is so cool. It's amazing. And she was just like, what? You know. And I was just like, no, it's really cool. You know, you know. I just told her it was really cool. I thought it was neat, you know. I was like, oh shit, I need to get myself one of those. That's freaking fast, those electric scooters. But anyways, so, let's see. You guys have a lot more candy too in Sweden. Like you can go into a grocery store, a convenience store, a side store, anywhere. And there's just like candy as far as the eye can see. In America, we'll have like your typical candy bars, Snickers, Hershey's, Reese's, you know, a little section for candy bars and gum. But you guys have like loose goodies, which is pick and mix. It's the scooper. You scoop it into bags and then you weigh it. And it's amazing. And you guys also have that for nuts too, which I buy, not right now because of freaking COVID, but that's amazing. And the salad bar that you guys have at the grocery stores, that's amazing. I freaking love that too, where I can just go and scoop myself a salad and weigh it and have a big lunch or dinner. Those are amazing. You don't see that too much in America. You see, we'll have like sometimes in the grocery store, we'll have like a hot case where you can get like chicken wings, potato wedges, like French fry type things. It's usually behind the counter and you tell them what you want. On the other side of the counter, you might have a couple little things. You might have like an olive station where you can pick and mix olives for like a party or whatever. But you don't see so much of the other stuff where here you can get like the salad bar. Oh my god, I love the salad bar so much. It's freaking amazing. It's so yummy. I haven't had it in a while because of COVID, but it's really bomb.com. I thought I was going to miss like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, but you guys have Espresso House and that's fine. I miss Olive Garden, Chick-fil-A. My husband misses Chipotle. These are restaurants in the United States. You can Google them if you want. Chipotle is like Spanish burritos. Chick-fil-A is chicken sandwiches. Italian Olive Garden. I miss that. I miss the Asian buffets. You guys have a couple here, and they work. They're pretty good. They're pretty yummy. I miss Italian pizza, like New York style pizza. What else do I miss? I'm from the South, so I miss Publix. I miss being able to go in the grocery store and buy a bottle of wine on a Friday night after work. Can't do that here. You have to go to System Bilagen. I think they close at 6. I miss being able to go to Walmart at all hours of the night if you need something or just because you're bored. I did that a lot when I was younger. What else do I miss? You kind of adapt. Like when I first came here, I tried to bring everything because I thought they weren't going to have it. And then you get here and you realize either you don't really need it or you never really needed it, or you can find an alternative or a replacement. So now when I go back to America, I don't like stock up on a bunch of shit, except for the only thing I do buy is cold medicine, because they don't have, here you have to have a prescription for it, I think, but in America you can just buy it over the counter. It's like a decongestant for your nose, for your sinus infections. But that's pretty much the only thing I buy that I'm like, oh, I can't find here. Other than that, I just eat because I miss the seafood. I miss those type of things, you know. But other than that, I mean, there's pretty much alternatives for everything here, and I don't, you know, before I would like make a list of like, oh, I gotta buy this, this, and this, and this, because I haven't been able to find it. But then you get here and you're like, I don't know that I really even needed that. I don't even know, you know, I bought it and I never used it, or oh, they have the same thing here, it's just a different brand. You just have to learn the brands, you have to learn the names, which takes time. I do buy pumpkin pie spice too when I go over because they don't have that here. Other than that, I can't think of anything else that I would buy over there and bring back over here because I can find alternatives, like I said, for pretty much everything. So, yeah, I hope that answered some of your questions. I didn't want to make it too long, and I start class here soon, I think. But I hope that answered some questions. If you have any more questions or comments, leave them, and I'll try to answer those for you guys as well. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful start of your week. It's Monday, it's gloomy, and it wasn't very cold this morning when I went out, but it's still colder than Florida. But have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Hey-do!